Clear Efficiency, helping you get clear on the efficiency of your home. Okay, Mike, I am up in the attic space right now, just taking a quick look around, seeing what it is that you have and seeing how it is that we might best be able to help you out here. So first and foremost, what we're looking at is the type of insulation that you have here on your attic floor. Right now you have one particular kind. It's called cellulose. For all intents and purposes, it's like a ground up newspaper. Very, very dusty, very, very fine. It's known to set off allergies, especially when it gets back down into the home. As a result, it's no longer allowed in schools and hospitals because just due to the allergy, people going into sneezing fits and whatnot. Okay, but it is there is no law saying that you do need to remove it, so you're perfectly fine to keep it. Real simple. Okay, that brings me to my second point, which is your levels. Right now, you guys are coming in just underneath this R19 mark, pretty close to about an R11. R11 is where you guys are coming in right now. Just to put that in perspective, bare minimum code is R38. So 13.25 inches, that's right here. This is where you need to be to keep your HVAC running smoothly. The very most insulation that you would put in the home for the maximum effective insulation is R60. That's right here. That's at 20 inches. Anything above this is what we call diminishing returns, which means you can literally double up to 40. It won't do anything more than it will right here at this 20. But at the very least, we certainly want to get you to code. So really simple on that. Now where you're at right now with a R11, insulation is done in increments. The smallest is 19, the next is R30, the next is R38, so on and so forth. So where you're at right now with the R11, I would come in here and blow the increment of R30. 30 plus 11 is going to be 41. That's going to land you just a hair above code. Okay, so really simple on that. Okay, now Mike, I did mention to you that you are in SMUD territory. Like I said to you, SMUD is the only utility company that offers a rebate for attic work. Roseville Electric does not offer rebate. PG&E does not offer rebate. It is only SMUD. It is not always advantageous, but it is a tool, and it can help you if you're already planning to go down that route. Okay. Now I'll quickly break it down. Like I mentioned to you, it is 3 variables to qualify for the 3,000. So first variable is insulation. Okay. 2 caveats to that. Okay, 2 caveats to the insulation. Caveat number 1 is, they will not allow you to use your existing insulation if you have multiple types, so more than one kind of insulation up here. Okay, and you do not. You only have the cellulose. Even when we go directly to the very bottom here, it has always been just cellulose. Okay. Caveat number 2, so you're all set with that. They will allow you to use this because there's only one type and not multiple types. Caveat number 2 is that they will not allow you to use your existing insulation if there is evidence of rodent activity, fecal matter, urine, seeds, nuts, anything of that nature. The rebate, yes, is about being a lot more energy efficient, but it's also about improving health. So they certainly will not allow you to use that. I say all of that to have said this. You are perfectly fine to use this. I can show you an option to remove this type if you really want it out. I don't know if anyone in the home has any allergies. I can show you an option to remove it, but we can still qualify for the SMUD rebate even still with it. We just need to take care of everything else. Okay, so I'll show you both options. So the insulation is fine. The second caveat is air seal, so sealing up the gaps on the attic floor. Just so I can quickly explain, if this is your home, and we're going to talk wintertime first. During the wintertime, you pay for heat, hot air rises, it stacks on your ceiling, it looks for avenues to escape, and it gets up into the attic space, which doesn't benefit you. It costs you money when heat gets up here during the wintertime. During the summertime, that process reverses, so it's overly hot up here. If it's only 95 outside, it's easily 120 to 140 in the attic space. Heat gets driven back down, and it carries this dust along with it from the attic, right? And it gets back down into the living space, and that's when it sets people's allergies off, and or you're running your AC more and more to compensate for the heat coming back down in. So what SMUD is asking you guys to do is come to all those areas of penetration and seal them up with the foam to do 2 things. 1, improve your air quality for sure, because you're not introducing dust back down into the living space, and 2, you're going to be a lot more energy efficient, and your HVAC is going to run less because you're not wasting any of the temperatures in the attic, or none of the attic temperatures are being forced back down left for you guys to condition. Okay, so I'm going to just quickly take you to a couple areas just so you can have a visual of what I'm talking about here. Let's see. I had a nice little can light is right over there. We'll go right there. Perfect. So this is a can light, and like I said, this thing applies to anything where wiring meets the attic floor, ductwork for sure meets the attic floor, any plumbing, any interior walls, that's a big one. Can lights like what we see here. Okay, so we've pulled the insulation away here, and we can see that they cut a hole for this unit, and they didn't do anything wrong. They cut a small hole so the unit can be housed in here, but inevitably there's gap all the way around this unit, and this is how this dust gets back down through. It works its way back down through the can lights, and it comes out, and people are left breathing it in. But it's also where temperatures are mixing back and forth, right? Insulation is good, but it doesn't stop the flow of air, okay? So SMUD wants us to come around all these areas, seal them up with the foam. Same thing with ductwork meeting the attic floor. Same thing with wiring, plumbing, anything of that nature, any penetration. They want it sealed up, so that when we test it, you have less than 5% leakage to the outside, okay? All right, last variable. So I've covered installation, I covered air seal, and the last thing that SMUD's asking for to qualify for the rebate is the ductwork, okay? So the quality of the ducts is important to them. Your ducts are in rough condition, and I believe this is where you're having the biggest leaks when it comes to your HVAC, and it's one of the reasons why you can't keep up, okay? In addition to having very little insulation. But let me show you the one that's behind me. So you have a combination of ducts. It seems like the previous owner tried to upgrade some, but then didn't finish it, okay? And then some are the complete original to the home, and that's these guys back here and these ones over here. But these ones that are completely original are still metal tubes. The only thing is that these ones are in such rough condition that I believe this is where you're losing your air the most, because these are what is called a collapsed tube. So not only are you leaking because the tube is collapsed, but it's also bottlenecking, excuse me, bottlenecking the system, making it have to work harder, but with not a whole lot of benefit here. So this tube is supposed to be round, and it is completely squished. We can see it at an angle here, okay? It is flat. So at some point, and I assume that, I don't know when it was done, but it has probably been like this for quite some time, but your system is having to work doubly hard because your duct is only this thin in certain areas, so it's having to really push, and it's not really getting all the air that it's pushing out to the other end, okay? And the same thing is happening with this one right here. These have just been up here for so long, and when someone was up here performing work, they were not as careful as they could have been, and they squished these ducts. And these metal ducts are like plumbing. They're straight pipe, okay? And once you throw it off, it's going to start to leak. These ones right here are an upgraded version, but they all have holes in them, so they're leaking air out right now. And that's these guys right here. The silver is what looks like the previous homeowner started to upgrade them and tried to upgrade them, but he didn't get very far. He did this one, maybe, and it looks like a couple of the other ones had started, but a lot of these aren't even going to anything. It's just the empty boxes now. But that's pretty much it. So as I see it, Mike, I see 3 options here for you, okay? Option number 1 is that, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the duct here. Got me thrown off here. R6 is the threshold. R6 duct is the threshold in which they will qualify for the rebate for. Anything underneath R6, they're going to want you to replace it with the newest version, which is R8, okay? So for you, all these metal ducts, all these old tubes right here, these are going to have to go if we're qualifying for the rebate, and we'd have to replace them with the R8. So like I'm saying, you have at least 3 options. Option number 1, we're not qualifying for the rebate. We would just blow R30 over the top of your existing R11, okay? Option number 2 is we do a seal and blow. Again, do not qualify for the rebate. We just go to all the penetrations, we seal them up first with the foam, and then we would blow the R30 over the top of everything, okay? Option number 3 is we can do a seal and blow and replace all the ducts. So remove all the seal and blow, because your installation is clean for what it is, that would still qualify for the rebate after the testing. And then I can give you an option number 4 if you really want to see it, which is a remove seal blow. So this is when we get actually all this old dusty stuff out of here, remove everything, disinfect the area, seal up all the gaps on the attic floor, replace all the ducts with new R8, and then blow in R38 after the fact. That one will again qualify for the rebate, but you'll have all new installation instead of partly new installation. Okay, but that's pretty much it, Mike. That's everything that I'm looking at. Just a few options to consider, my professional opinion. Sooner rather than later. Thank you.